Oh, that's so sweet. It's so hard to sing songs, especially.
Whoa, I wanna take
Goodness me. I definitely have a hard time singing this. Kia ora and welcome. My name's ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach for today. In today's vocal analysis, we're going to take a look at Miley Cyrus, End of the World. I have not heard this song just yet. Yes, I have managed to stay away from it. Anyway, let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique. Love a bit of Miley.
Today you woke up and you told me. It gets me every time. Wanted to cry. The sky was falling like a comet on the 4th of July. You've been thinking about the future. Let's pretend that it's the end of the world.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's so hard to sing songs, especially when the person is sitting right in front of you and it's a really personal song. I just love that Miley's being that vulnerable and open, but I just love her journey and the way that she's sort of like come full circle. Anyway, we're hearing da, 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 da. We've got a little bit of rasp in there. A little bit of, you could probably say it was constriction, but we do know that Miley Cyrus suffers from Reiki's edema, which is where water or fluid, it's not water, where fluid gathers in that upper layer of the vocal folds. So we do need to pay attention to the fact that this is a medical condition caused by smoking. So that's just where the vocal folds are not going to quite touch very well. And you have to use quite a lot of pressure in order to make them close. So that's why we're hearing just that little bit of air, a little bit of rasp in there. You can, though, create that sound without having a medical condition.
Today you woke up and you told me. It gets me every time. Wanted to cry. The sky was falling like a comet on the 4th of July. You've been thinking about the future.
So we're on that E4 there above middle C. So this is right bang in the middle of that chest. This would actually be a really great place to start for the chest voice. And then you add the constriction on, if you're we're not talking about Miley's version of that crackle, but if we've been talking about the future, would be when then we would use those false vocal folds to press on the vocal folds a little bit to create that distorted sound.
Let's pretend that it's the end of the world. Let's spend the dollars you've been saving on a Mercedes Benz. And throw a party like McCartney with some help from our friends. Then let's go down to Malibu and watch the sun fade out once more. So you can show me how you'd hold me, but tomorrow's just the saddest thing. Let's pretend it's not the end of the world.
Oh, this is such a beautiful song. And goodness me, I definitely have a hard time singing this. This is absolutely beautiful. And you can notice there, though, when Miley is getting emotional, she's going to the end of the world, because it is very hard for us to sing, actually impossible for us to sing almost when we are getting really emotional, which is why in our singing, we don't actually want to get, I'm saying this is a very personal song, and she's singing it actually to her mum in a personal, private setting. But we would, in a performance, not want to go that far. We would stop before we end up allowing our emotions to kind of like take our vocal folds hostage, yeah? Because we're getting like no vocal fold contact in them. As she's going up there, we can see a noticeable increase in the effort going on here in the neck. Let's watch that again.
Let's go down to Malibu and watch the sun fade. And once more.
And once more. That's a really lovely sweet spot in the chest voice there, but we noticed that her larynx went up, and that's one of the most important things, especially when we're wanting to take that chest voice higher in the range. We need to allow the larynx to raise, which is why I have a free singing lesson for you, a 3-day challenge on how you can find your chest voice down in the description below.
So you can show me how you hold me. And tomorrow's just the saddest thing. Let's pretend it's not the end of the world.
So beautiful, isn't it? No matter how big you get, it just ends up being all about you and your family. And that still ends up being the hardest thing for you to do. Do you struggle to sing in front of your family? Because I know that I do. Let me know down in the comments, especially when it's such a personal song like this. So you noticed as well, she's lifting her head up a little bit. Lifting the head can help us to stop that little bit of thyroid tilt that's going to go in when we go into full-on crying. So just lifting up. Just pretend it's not the end of the world. And we can still keep that vocal fold contact and not allowing us to go into that full-on cry.
Let's go to Paris, I don't care if we get lost in the scene. Paint the city like Picasso would have done in his dreams. Do the things that we were way too terrified of before. Whoa, I wanna take you to Nirvana. We can take it too far. Hit the bottom of the bottle and forget where we are.
So did you see this? Whoa! She brought the tongue further forward. We really want to make sure that we're bringing the tongue forward when we're going higher in the chest voice range, because otherwise, so the larynx is here and the tongue sits on top of the larynx. If we bring the tongue backwards, we're going to be pushing the larynx down. So you see it. Whoa! I've actually got a free singing lesson for you about tongue position down in the description below. So what we've got there, we saw, oh, she went into a lovely back vowel there, and we saw the tongue kind of disappear.
Do the things that we were way too terrified of
before, but we're also in a lower part of the range, so it doesn't really matter that she's taken the tongue back. That is a subjective artist's decision there, but it's as we go high that we want to really watch the tongue.
Whoa, I wanna take you to Nirvana. We can take it too far. Hit the bottom of the bottle and forget where we are. Hold me close, you know, tomorrow isn't coming for sure. Let's pretend that it's the end of the world.
So we're up on the B4 there, and we notice that she's opened her mouth. Pretend it's not the end of the world. Opened up the mouth into more of a trumpet shape, and that's really important when we're going higher in the chest voice range there as well. We do notice though that there is a considerable amount of crackle still. Again, that is probably down to, I'm not Miley's doctor, but I would say that is probably still down to her condition of the Reiki's edema. But we are seeing that there's an increase in the energy there, which is what we do need to do when we are going higher, no matter what our vocal folds are doing. Let's just go back on that. So we sort of pretend it's not. We have this quite a lot more muscle connection there in that part of the song. I really do think that is more for the emotional effect of the song. I don't necessarily think that Miley needs to do that. I think often what happens is with singing is we show more effort than it really does take us. Because honestly, if she was to show us how little effort is needed to sing this song without it being emotional, we would kind of be a bit bored of it. It wouldn't really be that entertaining sign. We want to see the work go into the song.
Let's pretend that it's the end of the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that was so lovely. And we saw her there at the end. Pretend it's not the end of the pretend that it's the end of the world. Really hard to keep on articulating through those relatively high notes. We are only on the B4, which is well within anybody's chest voice range that you're working on. That, but I mean, that typically used to be a very high note when it came to the chest voice, and now just kind of because of Wicked, really. 20 years ago when Wicked came out, that's when people start belting out G6, fives and things like that. So it times have changed, but B used to be a relatively high note. Think Don't Rain on My Parade, for example, used to be on that B flat. That used to be a really, really high belted note, and now it's no longer considered that high. So I really do recommend, if you are looking to work on the chest voice, don't try and sing too high, which is why I've taken you through in my 3-day lesson down in the description. It's all free. You can go and get it. I don't take you very high in the exercises because it really isn't about the vocal range at that point. It's about getting a better vocal fold contact and being able to get that volume and that resonance on the lower part of the range. Gosh, isn't Miley just absolutely amazing? Let me know down in the comments what your favorite recent Miley performance is, because I'd love to take a look at it. And you can check out some more Miley here and here. And honestly, I'm just so excited to share this world of vocal analyses with you. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you want to join me for more vocal analysis, then subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to see you around here more often. I also have my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, which is available in the description below. You can join me for live bi-weekly masterclasses. We just had one yesterday, which is really exciting, where we went through all about what goes on beyond the chest voice. So we're getting to this sound with Miley in the chest voice and what happens then after the chest voice, which is really important when we're thinking about our singing. What are our decisions that we want to be making? We also have monthly live practice groups where you can get feedback on your singing. You sing for us and we tell you what you can keep on going away and working on, as well as in the Vocal Academy we have weekly singing lessons for you. So it means that you don't have to think about what to practice and when to practice it. You get that all in your training plan at the beginning of joining the academy, so you know exactly what you need to be doing for your singing. So I'm here to help you, because that's what I'm here for, to show you the way to help you to a more secure and stable voice. So you can check it out in the description below. Have an awesome rest today. And Miley, well done. I love this performance. Can't wait to watch it again away from you guys. Bye. Ka kite anō.